In the heart of the untamed wilderness, a group of intrepid hunters gathered for their annual expedition. Guided by the rugged outdoorsman, Robert Thornfield, the group set forth with a sense of adventure coursing through their veins. The air was charged with excitement, and the forest beckoned with promises of thrilling hunts and untold secrets. Their destination was the enigmatic forbidden wilderness, a place of dark legends and whispered mysteries. As the hunters ventured deeper into the forest, the sunlight filtering through the dense canopy began to wane. Shadows lengthened, and the temperature dropped, casting an eerie chill over the landscape. Camp was set up near an ancient gnarled tree that seemed to exude an aura of unsettling antiquity. As night fell, the hunters gathered around the crackling campfire, their spirits high but tinged with an undercurrent of unease. A sense of foreboding seemed to settle over the group, carried on the wind that rustled through the trees. Hushed whispers and furtive glances were exchanged, and the camaraderie that had once united them now seemed strained. Strange sounds echoed through the forest, their origin shrouded in darkness. The campfire tales took on an eerie quality, with hunters recounting unsettling encounters and inexplicable phenomena from previous expeditions. Robert Thornfield regaled the group with a chilling tale of a spectral beast rumored to stalk the forbidden wilderness, its presence signaled by an eerie, bone-chilling howl that echoed through the night. With the dawn, the hunters eagerly set out to track their quarry, their determination undeterred by the eerie events of the previous night. The wilderness seemed to pulsate with an ancient energy, each footfall igniting a primal connection to the land. The group split into pairs, each two venturing deeper into the woods, their senses alive with the thrill of the hunt. As Robert Thornfield and his companion, Ethan, delved into the heart of the forbidden wilderness, the atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive. The trees seemed to close in around them, their twisted branches forming an ominous canopy. An unnatural stillness pervaded the air, and even the rustling leaves fell silent in deference to an unseen presence. With every step, the malevolent energy in the air grew more palpable. A dense mist emerged from the undergrowth, enshrouding the forest in an impenetrable veil. Robert and Ethan exchanged uneasy glances, their senses tingling with an otherworldly awareness. Suddenly, a movement caught Robert's eye, a fleeting glimpse of something monstrous and unnatural lurking in the shadows. A guttural growl pierced the silence, followed by a spine-chilling howl that reverberated through the very core of their beings. Fear surged through Robert and Ethan, their instincts kicking in as they sprinted through the underbrush. Branches slapped against their faces, and the uneven terrain threatened to trip them at every turn. As Robert and Ethan fled through the dense forest, the malevolent presence pursued them relentlessly. The sounds of pursuit echoed through the trees, the pounding of footsteps, the snapping of twigs, and the ominous growls that seemed to emanate from all directions. Their breath came in ragged gasps, their hearts racing as they pushed their bodies to the limit. As they ran, Robert and Ethan stumbled upon an ancient, dilapidated cabin, seemingly untouched by time. With no other option, they rushed inside, slamming the creaking door shut behind them. The cabin's interior was a tableau of decay, the remnants of a past long forgotten. Inside the cabin, Robert and Ethan caught their breath, their chests heaving as they attempted to make sense of the terror that had pursued them. The cabin's walls seemed to close in around them, and a sense of unease settled over the hunters like a heavy fog. It was then that they noticed peculiar symbols etched into the walls, symbols that hinted at a sinister purpose. A shiver ran down Robert's spine as he realized that the cabin held a dark secret. The symbols seemed to pulse with an eerie energy, and the air grew thick with a sense of impending doom. Ethan discovered a weathered journal tucked away in a corner, its pages filled with cryptic entries chronicling encounters with a malevolent entity that had plagued the forbidden wilderness for generations. Armed with the knowledge from the journal, Robert and Ethan prepared for a final, harrowing confrontation with the malevolent entity. They scavenged makeshift weapons from the cabin's decaying remnants, their eyes resolute and their hearts steeled for the battle that lay ahead. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the cabin into shadow, the malevolent presence announced its arrival with a bone-chilling howl that echoed through the night. The walls of the cabin seemed to tremble, and a sense of dread settled over Robert and Ethan as the entity's relentless pursuit drew near. With their makeshift weapons in hand, the hunters stood ready, their resolve unwavering. The malevolent presence materialized before them, a grotesque, twisted creature with eyes that glowed with an unnatural malevolence. It emanated an aura of darkness that seemed to sap the very air of life. The battle erupted with a fury, a symphony of clashes and strikes, as Robert and Ethan engaged in a life-and-death struggle against the malevolent entity. Their weapons struck against the creature's form, but each blow seemed to dissipate like smoke, leaving them grappling with an enemy that defied the laws of the natural world. Ethan's weapon clashed against the entity's hide, the impact sending shockwaves through his arms. Robert's heart raced as he devised a daring plan to weaken the creature's defenses and exploit its vulnerabilities. With a sudden surge of adrenaline, he lunged forward, his weapon finding its mark and causing the entity to emit a piercing, otherworldly wail. The wail of the creature resonated throughout the cabin, its form flickering and shifting, as if struggling to maintain its existence. The hunters seized the opportunity, their weapons striking against the entity with renewed ferocity. But even as their blows landed, the creature fought back with an intensity that threatened to overwhelm them. In a desperate bid for victory, Robert and Ethan remembered the ritual detailed in the journal, a ritual that required a sacrifice of immense significance. Their eyes met, a silent understanding passing between them. With a shared resolve, they chanted an incantation, their voices harmonizing as they tapped into an ancient power. A blinding light erupted, filling the cabin with an otherworldly radiance. The entity writhed and contorted, its form gradually dissipating into the brilliance. The air crackled with energy, and the very fabric of the cabin seemed to shift and warp. Then, as suddenly as it had begun, the light vanished, leaving Robert and Ethan standing in a world forever changed. The forbidden wilderness stood silent, its ancient secrets shrouded in an impenetrable veil. The malevolent entity that had haunted its depths for generations had been banished, its malevolence quelled by the sacrifice of two brave hunters. The cabin, once a refuge for darkness, now stood as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. News of the hunters' encounter with the supernatural spread like wildfire, captivating the imaginations of adventurers and thrill-seekers far and wide. Campfires crackled as the tale was recounted, its details growing more embellished with each retelling. The forbidden wilderness became a place of both dread and fascination, a realm where the veil between the natural and the supernatural was paper-thin. In the end, the hunters' courage and sacrifice echoed through time, a haunting reminder that even in the face of unimaginable terror, the strength of the human spirit could overcome the darkest of forces. And as the winds whispered through the trees of the forbidden wilderness, the tale of the haunting hunt lived on, a testament to the indomitable will of those who dared to confront the unknown.